Hello and welcome back to Nonsense Farm. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're not subscribed, I hope that you'll do that and also hit the little bell so you'll be notified whenever we put out new videos. All right, so pretty much my whole gardening life, I have gardened in raised bed gardens. I got my start at the Addison, Texas Community Garden. Of course, those were raised beds. I put more raised beds in my backyard. Always had raised beds. And I love them. They're great for, you can control the soil that's in them. You don't have to battle as much with weeds. They're just great. But they're expensive to build, they're expensive to fill, and just building them and everything is very time consuming. So out here at Nonsense Farm, I am working to establish a large area of raised row gardens, and that's what I'm working on today. I just have this one row kind of ready to plant, and I'm planting some things in it kind of as an experiment to see how it's working before I continue establishing the other rows, because I don't want to get the whole garden established and then go, wow, I wish I would have done whatever. So one of the big disadvantages of the in-ground garden is weeds. So right now I have a silage tarp all over this whole area, and so it has smothered all the weeds, and so I have a blank slate to work with. Then I'm putting landscape cloth in the walking paths between the raised rows, and this is the first thing I'm going to try on the in the planting rows. This is biomulch. It's made out of just cornstarch. It degrades. At the end of the season, you can just turn it right into the soil and it will compost right into the soil, unlike the plastic landscape cloth that you have to pull out, and you're finding parts of it for years. So this is what I'm going to try. What I'm doing is putting the biofilm on the row, and then I will plant through it. So let's get started and see where we do. Oh, also, I am planting peas because it is the time of year to plant peas. Also, peas I think are nitrogen fixing, so it'll help improve the soil. Plus, I have a ton of pea seeds, and so I might as well use them. I always tell people that gardening is the process of trying something and then figuring out why it didn't work. So there are already things that I've discovered that maybe aren't going to work or that I want to do differently. So for one thing, this one package of this bio mulch film was $26, and it was just barely enough to cover just this row here. And so obviously it would be several $100s once I get this whole garden operational. So that's not going to be sustainable. So I either need to figure out a different source for it or a different product altogether. So there's one challenge. The other challenge is this is 4 feet wide, and this bed is humped up so much that it doesn't, that it could be wider. I would be happier if it were wider. So I had already decided that I don't think I need to hump up the rest of the planting rows quite as much as I did this one. So that just kind of confirms that. Another thing about raised bed gardens is physically they're easier to garden in. I can definitely feel my back after doing that. Also, it feels weird direct sowing into cloth, so will the plants find their way up through each of those holes? I don't know. Weeds find their way through cracks in the sidewalk, so maybe. I don't know. These seeds take 5 to 10 days to emerge, so we will just wait and see what happens.